Hello there and welcome to today's ride. Today it's going to be a little bit of a toughie. Today's ride is down to a place called Selsey, which, although it's only about 30 kilometers away from where I live, it's a place I rarely ever go. I think I've only ever been there about 3 times in my entire life, and consequently it has this sort of other place, edge of the world feel for me. Last time I cycled down there, it was April, May of this year, and it was still pretty cold then, and when I got home I just shivered uncontrollably because I was inappropriately dressed. Today I'm not making that mistake. All in all, today's route is going to be about 70 kilometers with about 420 meters of climbing, so relatively flat, and that's because it's kind of a bit of a test for me today as well. First of all, I'm testing myself, and that's basically just to see if I can cycle 70 kilometers. All my rides up until now over the last 3 or 4 months have been about 30 kilometers, so it's going to be twice the distance I'm used to. And secondly, it's going to be the first kind of a longer ride that I'm going to do on my new gravel bike, although I'm doing it on road. Because today's ride is going to be a little bit longer than my usual ones, I'm just going to take it nice and easy. So that means just trying to keep my heart rate between 70 and 80% of my max, and just pedaling nice and easily. Got a long way to go, don't want to knacker myself out. And if by magic, here we are in Selsey. I'm right down by the seafront here, and there's not a lot here. It's just a bit of a shingle beach and a car park. I think the main part of town is a little bit further behind me. But as you can see, the weather today is pretty windy and overcast and not particularly warm. When I left the house today, it was 8 degrees Celsius and really chilly, so I had to wrap up really warm. but it's warmed up to a rather balmy 11 degrees, so yeah, not too bad, almost sunbathing weather. I think my sponsors are going to be very pleased with me, because today I'm a real Altura boy. Because it is so cold, I've had to wrap up against the weather, so that means that I'm wearing a pair of Altura thermal long-bottomed cycling shorts. I've got 3 layers on top here, and I've got some merino socks on as well, and they're keeping me nice and warm. I think I probably made a real schoolboy error today as well. I did check the weather forecast, and particularly the wind direction, and it was saying a south-southwesterly, so unfortunately for me that means I will be having pretty much a headwind all the way back. So that's 37 kilometers into the wind, so I really am going to have to pace myself. Shows you just how windy it gets around here. Those trees don't grow like that for fun. But having said that, at the moment I think the wind may slightly be in my favour, because it's a bit easier riding back than it was getting here, although I am doing a kind of a northwest route, and the wind's coming kind of from the southwest, so yes, it would sort of be pushing me. But once I get to Fishbourne and turn left, I should have a full-on headwind. Normally, when I want a slightly longer route, I'll cycle down to a place called Bognor, which is kind of out this way, but the road down there's a little bit kind of busy at times, and it does mean crossing the very busy A27, usually at an absolutely lethal roundabout. So when I go to cycle this route, it's all little back lanes and one reasonably busy B road, so I don't have to do that big roundabout. And of course the other main rationale for choosing this kind of route is because it's flat, and because it is like 70 kilometers and I'm giving myself a bit of a test, I don't want the added challenge of any climbs or anything. So yeah, I just thought I'd take it nice and easy, nice and flat, and have a nice ride. More or less 54 kilometers in now, and I'm on this main Chichester to Portsmouth road heading due west, and yep, the wind is right on my nose. I'm also starting to feel it a little bit, so yeah, just take it at my own pace, just grind away until I get to Emsworth, and then I'll turn right and start the only real climb of the day. But fortunately the wind should be behind me up there as well, so yeah, that's in about 10 kilometers time. And would you believe I've now just punctured? At least it's somewhere where I can pull over safe and have a bit of a breather while I fix it. Taking some pumping. Well, that's the puncture repaired and me back on the road. The good news was that the tyre came off and went back on again very easily, but it just took ages to pump up. and that's probably due to the size. It's not quite as inflated as I would have liked, but hopefully it will get me home and then I can use my track pump. That's the turn at Emsworth done, and I'm now starting the long climb up to the Skull and Bones crossroads. The wind is slightly behind me, so yeah, a little bit of respite. Last kilometre now, so I'm under that virtual Flamme Rouge. 71 kilometres in the bank of fitness, and I have to admit that was a lot tougher than I had anticipated. It wasn't just the wind, it was also my lack of fitness. The bike itself handled very, very well. It was very comfortable, very smooth. Obviously I had that puncture, but that could happen to anyone, anywhere, on any bike. But at least I'm home now, and in a few minutes I'll be flopped out on the sofa after a nice warm shower and enjoying a nice cup of tea. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.